They'll spread the field with 5 wide.
Because in either game, life or football, the margins for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second. On this team, we fight for that inch. On this team, we tear ourselves and everyone else around us to pieces for that inch. We claw with our fingernails for that inch. Because we know when we add up all those inches, that's gonna make the fucking difference between winning and losing. Between living and dying. I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that inch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that inch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face. Now I can't make you do it. You gotta look at the guy next to you. Look into his eyes. Now I think you're gonna see a guy who will go that inch with you. You're gonna see a guy who will sacrifice himself for this team because he knows when it comes down to it, you're gonna do the same for him. That's a team, gentlemen.
Spanning more than 10 successful seasons and covering the country from California, Ohio, North Carolina, and Virginia, this is League One NCAA football.
From their own 48-yard line.
3rd and 3 now, just near the midfield stripe after a good first down play after the touchback for Utah. And the curl route is good for 8 yards. And now the Utah Utes at home against the #1 Syracuse Orange are on the Syracuse side of the field. I'm sure Coach Spectre appreciates your support, Blitzkrieg.
From the 43-yard line, first down. He's on the run.
Jalen Dixon, 7 yards and steps out of bounds. Evening, Leon. Thank you for joining us. A little bit of a late start, but that's not surprising with a user-user matchup like we have between Syracuse and Utah tonight. Indeed, both a user-user and a top 25 matchup. Number 17 hosting number 1.
From the 36-yard line, it's second down. He's looking for his man. He's got his receiver with nobody around him.
This guy just continues to impress me. Every time I watch this team play, he seems to come up with big plays.
And doesn't it always seem like he just finds a way to get open?
And a big pass for the touchdown over the top. First points on the board at 5:40 to go in the first.
Utah to kick. He sends this one deep.
Schumacher just underneath the letters. He takes it out.
He's to the 20.
Stumbles a bit, breaks a tackle, gets to about the 24-yard line. Well, he didn't make it 50 yards downfield.
Leads the team out on the field for the first drive.
Ooh, and a great catch by Metcalf, but he gets spun around a little bit by the defense. He gets 7 yards on first down, and Orange skipped the huddle, goes straight to 2nd and 3. Hand off to Metcalf. He gets a 2-yard gain to 3rd and 1.
It's 3rd down, and this offense is about 3 feet away from that first down marker.
Shotgun split, a lot of men in the box for the defense. And the halfback Metcalf is wide open. Good downfield blocking, a dive, and a big 30-yard gain by Eric Metcalf on 3rd and 1. Defense committed to the run and passed right over top of the blitz. And now, in Ute territory.
After the big pass play, we've got a first down.
Tommy Tanuvasa for 5 yards as he can't hurdle the roadblock. And they go no huddle. Thank you for the host, Amazing Dragon. It's a big game tonight. One of our users, number 17, Utah, hosting number 1, Syracuse Orange. Good defense there on the tight end as he went long on 1st and 10. They go no huddle. It's 2nd and 10. Schumacher hit in the backfield and forced into the line. He gets a 1-yard gain. It's 3rd and 9. Third and 9 from the 25-yard line. 5 wide receivers, 3 down linemen. Tanuvasa escapes a tackle, and the defense gives him too much respect. That is a huge touchdown. Too worried about getting burned, they didn't commit at all, and he ran right around him. Tie ball game after the extra point. Yeah, no, both a great play and quite lucky, because the defense definitely had a hand on him way in the back there, and then nobody came up to close. You saw a couple of defenders going to the sideline like, "Hey, I thought you were going to close on him. I thought you were going to close on him." Let's see what We'll see what the linebackers coach has to say about that next time around.
On their last drive, as this quarterback just picked apart the defense.
This quarterback right now is in a rhythm, and a lot of that has to do with his preparation.
Two relatively quick.
Ooh,
Champ Bailey there with the deflection. Real close to jumping the route. In fact, almost over jumped the route. Great job to put his hand back. Defense was close in two places there. Might be the first incompletion of the game for Utah as they had a bang-bang first drive. Ooh, Army barely lost to Notre Dame.
2nd and 10. Ball on the 25-yard line.
And Bailey this time gets the pick. Not even his guy. He was playing on another player, and he was in the right place at the right time to put his hands up. Utes defense, however, not fooled by the wide receiver motion. They come back and take the quarterback down for a loss of 4 yards. Excellent field position, but they've lost 4 yards. It's 2nd and 14 from the 37. Worth noting that the Utah Utes have had a fantastic year using their third-string quarterback for, I believe, the last 4 or 5 games. Tony Vasa scrambles, gets around the corner. 2 defenders overcommit. And the stutter step all over the place, and that's another 32-yard run as the Utah Utes try to prevent the big play and give up the soft underneath. 1st and goal now from the 5. 2 minutes, 20 seconds remaining in the first quarter in this user top 25 matchup. Tight end on the right, halfback on the left, on the right hash. Metcalf gets the ball and stumbles in the backfield, and a blitzer comes through and stops him. Javelin Guidry, the strong safety, comes through with a tackle for loss.
From the 6-yard line. It's 2nd down. They come out in an empty backfield.
Metcalf in motion. He hits the seam and he gets 2 yards. It's now 3rd and goal.
It's a pretty good play here by the junior safety, stepping up and making a good tackle on the ball carrier.
3rd and goal from the 4. A couple of good defensive plays on 1st and 2nd down by the Utes in the red zone here.
It's 3rd and goal from the 3, and this is a very big play for both teams.
Shotgun split big. Metcalf out of the backfield on the angle, 4 yards and a touchdown. And it's the first lead of the game for the Orange. And it's the that is the end, I should say, of the 3rd possession of the game.
When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. When the East is in the house, oh my God. Oh my God.
That's Coach Spectre, and that's a very big twisted T. I've been corrected. That was the 4th possession of the game, there was a touchdown, a pick, and then a touchdown. As a split of their own for the Utes, they go over the top deep. And Brian Thompson has a 32-yard gain from the outside coming across the middle. And Utah is into Syracuse territory just that quickly.
Now it's 1st and 10 with the defense trying to regroup after giving up the big pass.
Hand off to TJ Green out of the backfield. He gets stood up after 2 yards. And looks like, well, either he's down or he can't get up because the other user was, the AI was standing on top of him. We'll see. Second and 8. On the 41.
2nd and 8. Ball on the 41-yard line.
Dodds now in the backfield. Throw over the middle. London Fletcher, the linebacker, gets a hand on it and swats it down. It's now 3rd and 8. Utah Green out with an abdominal strain, will return soon. Time in the pocket. And it's a drop on 3rd down. 4th and 8 from the 41 now. Close defense there. Gets the hand on the ball. They send a punt unit onto the field, and defense remains for the Orange.
He'll probably try to pooch this one into the corner. Very high punt. The birds better watch out. This punt bounces into the end zone, and this will be a touchback.
All right. It goes to the Syracuse side of the pylon, so they get to start on the 20 instead of the 2. It's a big difference there for them. A big play, and then nothing doing on that drive for the Utes. Shotgun split big here, and a ton of guys in the box for the defense. Tanuvasa with the ball. He breaks 1 tackle, but he gets 8 yards as the second man gets him from behind.
Talk about scoring. A huge first quarter by both teams. 14-7, Syracuse.
Second and 2 now. Every coach's favorite down and distance. Ball's on the left hash. It's a handoff to Metcalf up the middle. He's got a huge gap.
Gains his way to the 40-yard line.
Maybe after a nice run like that, you try
And that's a big gain up the middle.
First and 10. Ball on their own 40.
Tight end and a fullback on the right, along with a halfback. Tanuvaso waiting for the clock to wind down. Bavaro, the tight end, on the drag route. He catches the ball, but then the defense is there to wrench him down after a 3-yard gain.
Pass and swarming to the receiver.
3-yard line. Second down. Syracuse is up
2
by
tight
a
ends
touchdown.
now in the shotgun. And Metcalf with the catch and then tackled around his legs as he runs by.
They keep moving the defense.
It's going to be 3rd and 2.
So it's 3rd down, and they've got about 2 yards to go. They'll spread the field here. Let's
5
see what the
wide
defense does
receivers
with a
now.
wide outlook.
On 3rd and 2. Stanivasa continues to let the clock wind. And he scrambles out,
Here they come.
and he hits the sideline at about the 44. And once again, they've crossed into Utah Ute territory. Handoff to Metcalf, and it's an outside run that gets 4 yards as the defender does a good job to get off of his blocker.
From the 39-yard line, it's 2nd down.
An I formation here with 2 tight ends flanking the line. Handoff to Metcalf out of the backfield.
Brought down.
He rumbles forward for 3. It's going to be 3rd and 3.
And this is the 8th play of the drive. They'll line up
5
with
wide receivers, Metcalf in the right slot. 3rd and 3. We've been here recently.
He's scrambling.
And Tanuvasa throws on the run
And when you clog up passing lanes like that,
and can't make it. It hits the dirt.
almost got themselves a turnover too.
It's 4th down, and the offense is getting set to go for it. Syracuse is up a score. And that looked like a pretty good move as they called timeout before the play clock ran out.
Syracuse, having sent the offense out on 4th and 3, calls the timeout. We'll see what they're considering here.
And it's the offense
And
that
they
takes
come
the
out
field on 4th down.
on offense once again.
They're showing blitz.
And Metcalf out of the backfield is wide open in the right flat. He gets 6 yards and converts the first down on 4th down. That's a big deal after a couple of good stops by the Utes there. As regular viewers know, in League 1, any given coach has a limited number of 4th downs to use per regular season. You get 12. Syracuse deciding it was worth it to spend one there. Keep the foot on the gas against the Utah Utes. On the Utah, when it was 4th and 3 on the Utes 36. 1st and 10 now. Tenuvasa coming out in the eye. Metcalf gets 4 yards, and that's largely because he was able to drag through some defenders who got some hands on him. The lane was not clear. He just kept on chugging through. 2nd and 6 now from the 26-yard line. We have just above 3 minutes remaining in the half.
Here's the 11th play of the drive. Syracuse is up 7.
And off to Metcalf, and this time the lane is wide open. Defense expecting the pass there, and to a 26-yard run scores the touchdown. For the Orange, they're going to be up 21-7.
By the power of Grayskull. Cringer became the mighty Battle Cat, and I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe. Only 3 others share this secret.
They got a hold of that kick.
First and 10 now from the 25-yard line after the touchback.
You think about the challenges these two teams are facing. On one side, you've got to find a way to keep building on your lead, and on the other side, you've got to find a way to get back in it.
Pass is over complete, is over the middle, complete to Brian Thompson. 5 yards, and it gets the ball moving at 2 minutes 30.
It's 2nd and 5 here. Ball on the 30-yard line.
Four wide receivers, single back for the Utes. Ooh, and that's incomplete as the defender, Champ Bailey, was closing, and it looks like the receiver took his eye off the ball and tried to get a step. It's going to be 3rd and 5 now.
From their own 30-yard line, 3rd down.
Out of the pocket.
Buy some time. Throws in a hurry. And it's caught.
And a great catch by Wade Maddox for 39 yards over the top. Fantastic job to put the receiver in the right location as the ball was a bit overthrown.
So the big gain
And now Utah back in orange territory on the 31 with 1:39 in the half. Overthrown by Evans.
Just no way anybody could catch up with that pass.
It's now 2nd and 10.
From the 31-yard line, it's 2nd down. 5 guys will be out in the pattern as they're in the shotgun.
And he's out of the pocket, and he goes to the underneath guy.
He's looking for more.
Ooh, and let's see where they spot this ball.
Impresses me so much.
They call it 3rd and inches.
Coverage perfectly to
They
find
don't give him the
his
first
man.
down. The clock is moving. He's on the 22-yard line.
They'll line it up again on 3rd down.
We see a super heavy formation against a super light formation.
Up the middle for a nice
And Steve Rivero gets 4 yards and a first down.
The defense in their sight. That's the 2nd time on this drive alone they've been able to convert on a 3rd down. This defense has got to be able to kind of gather themselves and try to find some confidence. And somebody on that defense has got to be able to make a play to slow this offense down.
We've got a 1st and 10. Ball on the 17-yard line.
1 halfback. 4 down linemen. Quarterback out of the pocket. He passes to the halfback in the backfield.
He's got space to work.
There's a flag on the play.
Right around the 6-yard line.
Face mask, half the distance to the goal. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 3. And the clock is at 28 seconds remaining in the half.
It's 1st down, and they'll be looking for 6 points here. They're trying to stop the run here with a goal line defense.
And a fantastic one-handed catch by Jalen Dixon.
Yeah, they've had some success.
And that's going to make it a one-score game.
They can make that play work down
25 seconds remaining.
gets the PAT. They line up to kick this one away. He kicks it off, and he got all of that one.
Schumacher is underneath it. He elects to take it out. He's got a gap on the left side. He's across the 50. He's running across the field. He's burning some clock. They don't seem to be calling it back. And he steps out of bounds, first and goal at the 1 of the 10. 10 seconds remaining. Coach is on the sideline looking like, how did you not get across the pylon there? Pulling a Deshaun Jackson there to burn an extra 10 seconds off the clock, but now it's first and goal from the 1 as he fails to get across the plane before stepping out of bounds.
Momentum swings have been fairly even. And with so little separation, this game can be drastically changed on just 1 or 2 plays.
Utah calls a timeout.
First timeout.
Syracuse coming back out.
With 1 quarter down, I really haven't seen too much separation between these two.
5 wide receivers.
The whole way. Syracuse is up by a touchdown.
And it's a quarterback run.
Syracuse.
And that's going to score. And extends the lead back to 2 scores. That's a big kick return. And then just a quick period on the sentence.
You can hate me now. I won't stop, but I won't stop now. Can't stop, 'cause I can't stop now. You can hate me. You can hate me now. I hate you too, but I won't stop now. Come on, you can hate me now, 'cause I can't stop now. Come on, you can hate me now. You can hate me now. Do it now. You can hate me now. Do it now. I told you, do it now. Let's go.
Squib kick, and now
I think this defense right
the
now,
Utes get a play from their own 44-yard line with 6 seconds remaining.
Last time they were out there when they gave up such a long drive has had an impact and effect negatively on the
Corey Peters with 24 yards. They got 2 seconds.
liking what I see from this guy. He's not afraid to go to the air.
We'll see if they're going to kick it or they're going to try for... Nope, looks like they're putting out the field goal unit.
The field goal unit's out on the field. They're going to try to get these guys 3 points before halftime. Syracuse will take a timeout. That's their second of the half. Syracuse called their final timeout.
Syracuse attempting to ice the kicker.
So they decide to bring the kicker out to try to get 3 points before the half ends. The Utes, they're going to have to call their third and final
Utes
timeout.
call a timeout of their own. The kick is up.
It has the distance.
And it's through the uprights.
Looked like cake for this kid. Chalked up 3 points for the offense.
That's a
17, Syracuse.
28-17 half. I'm going to take a quick look at some halftime stats for you. The score is 28-17. The Utes actually lead in both first downs at 7 and total offense 205 to 190. It is, however, a different story of proportions, as the Utes only have 13 yards on the ground and Syracuse has 129 yards on the ground. Through the air, Utah is 11 for 17 for 192, whereas Syracuse is 7 for 9 for 61. Passing yards, as I said, 61 to 192. Both teams with a solid third down conversion rate, 4 to 5 and 3 out of 4, respectively. Both teams also 100% in the red zone. Turnover, there's been one pick thrown by Utah, and the return yards are squarely in the favor of Syracuse, who's got 127 return yards to 11. And return yards puts a total squarely in Syracuse's favor, 317 to 216. Time of possession, also in Syracuse's favor, 9:58 to 6:02. Tanuvasa through the air is 7 for 9 for 61 yards and a touchdown. That's a percentage of 77 with an 8.7 average and a 30 long. His rating is 171.3. Evans is 11 for 17 for 192. He has 2 touchdowns and 1 pick. His percentage is 64. His average is longer at 17.4, and he's got a 39-yard long. So he gets a rating of 86.6. TJ Green is 3 for 9 on the ground, and Steven Rivero is 1 for 4, that one being a very important conversion. On the ground for Syracuse, Metcalf has the most attempts at 8 for 52 yards, but Tanuvasa has 7 attempts for 76 yards as he scrambles out of the pocket a number of times, as well as some options. Schumacher is 1 for 1 yard. Through the air, Metcalf, the halfback, leads the way with 6 for 58. Mark Bavaro is 1 for 3. No wide receivers have completed a reception for Syracuse in the first half. I repeat that. No wide receivers have completed a catch. Different story for the Utah Utes, as it looks like everyone on the depth chart has completed a catch, including the halfback and the tight end, and they are spreading it around. Dixon, 4 for 28. Thompson, 2 for 37. Manny, 1 for 17. Peters, 1 for 24. Maddox, 1 for 39. Hampton, 1 for 36. And Green, 1 for 11. So, very much so, spreading it around. Defensively, for the Utes, Javelin Guidry leads the way at 4 tackles, 1 for loss. Kelly, James, and Robinson, linebackers and the free safety, backing him up at 3s. The Syracuse defense is being led by Antrell Roll, Kevin Green, and Champ Bailey. This side, much more of a side of spreading it around, as Roll, Roll, Green, and Bailey, the highest tackles, all only have 2. 1 interception by Bailey. He's also got 2 deflections, an excellent game so far for the corner champ Bailey. It's also Michael Schumacher with 2 returns, one with a long of 103. That's one of the scores right there. No returns to speak of for the Utah Utes. Those are your player stats and your overall numbers. As you can see, it is 28-7 as Utah started the game off with a touchdown, and Syracuse responded with a touchdown, a takeaway, and a touchdown. Utah was then forced to punt. Syracuse took a 21-7 lead. Utah responded. Syracuse responded, and with a 6-second drive, Utah was able to sneak in a field goal to make it 28-7. That's the story of the first half here. The outlier among those stats, no wide receivers have completed a reception for Syracuse. Syracuse set to get the ball to begin the third. Surprise onside kick, squib kick to Bavaro. And he gets 15. He gets to the 50-yard line. And that's going to start with good possession. Utah tried to sneak one in.
And here we go with the offense.
And it goes right into the hands of Mark Bavaro, the tight end, who has quite good hands. Metcalf gets the handoff on the read option, and he gets 2 yards as he can't break the edge.
From the 48-yard line, second down.
2nd and 8 as the Orange come out in a split. 2 halfbacks. Give it to Schumacher, and he shucks one defender.
And he's still on his feet. He gets out to about the 45.
And the other guy takes him down. But a good run to make it 3rd and 5.
It's 3rd down and 5 to go. Ball on the 45-yard line. There are 5 wide receivers split out. The quarterback in the gun.
And Tommy Tanuvasa waits in the pocket and takes a sack.
That's one of those as an offensive lineman. When the film study starts to come around, you're going to kind of sink in your chair and just hope they don't call
It's a
you
good
out.
play on
You're
3rd
gonna get
down.
embarrassed on Monday now.
Didn't have anywhere to go. It's 4th and 13 now from their own 47.
Looks like they've decided to go for it.
Very aggressive call here as the offense comes out on 4th and 13.
Call. I really would have expected them to punt this ball.
They're audible. Tanuvasa is scrambling out.
Quick throw, almost intercepted.
And that's a deflection and a turnover on downs.
Now, by failing on 4th down, they've given a pretty decent field position. Not a great gamble by going for it.
And now, right at the midfield stripe is where the Utes, down by 11, will begin their possession.
They don't have the luxury of wasting drives if they want to get back in the game.
TJ Green, 5-yard gain up the middle.
Yards on the carry. Second down and 5. Ball on the 42. Another run.
TJ Green this time loses a yard on the ground. It's now going to be 3rd and 6.
When this guy gets his hands on you.
Third down now, and they need to get it down to the 37.
He scrambles out of the pocket. And he's wide open. The defender overcommits.
He's at the 20. And down he goes.
And Tyquez Hampton, 31 yards. 1st and 10 now from the 13.
It's 1st down and 10 now after picking up some great yardage through the air.
And Evans is hit as he throws. And that's an incompletion into the back of one of his offensive linemen.
Got to do a better job maybe feeling things out a little bit, but at least he has the awareness.
2nd and 10 now from the 13-yard line.
Second down, 10 to go. Ball on the 13.
Play action. Over the middle, and Fletcher, London Fletcher, the middle linebacker, is perfectly positioned and gets the pick as if it was thrown to him.
First down.
A big red zone pick in this user-user matchup. Tanuvasa to Bavaro from the paint, 16 yards, and they are getting out of danger right there on that play. And as the defense was closing in, out to their own 23 now as the tight end goes up in the air to get it.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 23-yard line.
Tanuvasa under center now in the eye tight. 3 down linemen, but lots of guys in the box for the Utah defense. Tanavasa letting the clock wind down as he makes audibles. It's a handoff to Metcalf, who gets 2 yards. It looks like a cornerback comes in on the blitz. 2nd and 8 now from the 25.
Second down, 8 yards to go.
Split big here for the Orange. They give it to Tanuvasa, who makes it to the outside on the split big run. He's got a couple of defenders to beat as he runs down the sideline. And he gets a 72-yard run to 1st and goal. Great run blocking, as you saw on the outside there. The I think tight end pancaked the corner, and it gave Tanuvasa the edge. And it took both safeties to bring him down. They had to bracket him. One had to get in front and slow him down so the other could tackle him.
We might see another run here as it's
1st and goal now from the 3. Handoff to Metcalf, who loses a yard, is 96. James comes through for the clean hit. 2nd goal now from the 4.
Second down and goal. Ball on the 4.
Ball on the 4-yard line. Lots of defense in the box. Bavaro on the drag from the tight end on the right side, and that's a touchdown.
Yeah, they did a nice job inside the red zone of mixing up the play calling. That touchdown obviously fooled the defense.
It's automatic, baby.
It looked like the Utes might be reeling it in a bit there as they as they got a turnover on downs and then moved downfield efficiently. But they threw a red zone pick and gave up a 72-yard run, and that extends Syracuse's lead to 35-17.
You know the offense will be looking to do better this time out.
So much in football is about
Indeed, we haven't had 10 users the entire time. We've had as few as 5 for certain seasons, but we've maintained that core the entire time as Brad Edwards goes up and gets a pick on a risky play. Utah making down by math is difficult. 18 points. But yes, many seasons, we're quite happy with it. We're proud of it. We've put a lot of work into it. This is, if you didn't catch it, a user-user matchup. One of our founding users, Coach Spectre of the Syracuse Orange, against one of our newer users, Coach Brack of the Utah Utes, as Metcalf gets excellent blocking as he runs the ball up the middle there. Yes, in this late season user-user matchup in season 16. I am Coach Ninja. I coach the Navy midshipmen.
Ball on the 18.
This is a two-man show here because with 10 users, announcing your own games is just a little bit too difficult, so we don't make anybody do that. Tommy Tanuvaso waiting under center now, or in the shotgun, I should say. And Allworth is wide open, a few yards past the defenders. He's got the angle on them, and that's another touchdown for the Orange.
You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want, but you must try. Try and try. Try and try. You'll succeed at last. I know it. Don't I show it? So don't give up now.
And now the Utes will come back out on offense. It's 42-17.
We'll have to see now how the offense responds this time after throwing a pick on their last drive.
One general rule in any game is to hold on to the ball. If you're in the negative,
And the pitch is away,
your chances of
but
winning
with
the
surrounded by four guys, TJ Green never got out of the backfield on the pitch. The momentum clearly favoring the traveling team here
Second down, about 12 yards to
in
go.
this almost silent stadium here in Utah. Time in the pocket, doesn't like anything, scrambles up, gets 9 yards to make it 3rd and 4 as Gilbert Evans looks around and takes the only thing available. And that's the end of the third quarter. It was just a short minute and a half ago or so that nobody had scored in this quarter. And that changed very, very quickly. Dixon gets a 9-yard catch, his 5th of the game. And another risky throw, and this one, Antrell Roll takes it away. That's 4 turnovers, four picks for the Orange.
Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. Rock you like a hurricane.
Metcalf gets 1 yard on 2nd down. It's going to be 3rd and 4 now.
They're about 4 yards away here on 3rd down.
The Orange come out in the flex bone on 3rd and 4. Tainuvasa scrambling.
Now he's scrambling.
And there's green space. And he goes down after a 12-yard gain.
Conversion on 3rd down.
Good push here by the guys up front, and they are really starting to work hard in the trenches.
First and 10. Ball on the 44-yard line.
Hand off to Metcalf out of the pistol. He breaks a couple of tackles, turns 1 yard into 5.
Picks up 5 with the carry.
As the Syracuse Orange have the ball. It's not yet halfway through the 4th, and they're up by 25 points off of 4 picks thrown by Utah. Second and 5 now
Down, 5 to go. Ball on
from the 39-yard line.
Syracuse comes to the line.
The halfback switches
Control in
sides.
this game.
It's a quarterback keeper.
And
He
makes
gets a
it
2-yard
to the
gain
7-yard line.
as he gets held up at the line of scrimmage. Or should I say where the line of scrimmage was pushed. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now from the 37 as the clock continues to tick down.
3rd down again. The quarterback
5
in
wide
the
receivers.
backfield. 5 wide receivers in the formation. Well, a nice stop.
And they're not
This game, quite frankly, has been over for
not
a
getting
long
tricked
time.
by the quarterback run out of the shotgun there. It is going to be 4th and 3.
He's going to aim this one to the sideline, try to kick it out of bounds.
37-yard punt.
He punts it away, and there's no hang time on this one. And they must not have very much confidence in their field goal kicker.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I don't see what good a punt does in this
13-yard line. A tough punt there that worked reasonably well after the attempted deception on 3rd down didn't go.
Early in the 4th quarter here, and obviously we've got a game that's a blowout. In this situation, you just want to get out of this game without getting anybody hurt.
Hand off to the halfback. He gets 2 yards as the defensive line is getting good pressure
I'm not sure what they're trying to
against the
accomplish
run.
right here.
Second and 8 coming up here. Ball on their own 15. Less than 3 minutes in the game.
Ooh, and incredible diving deflection there. Champ Bailey with an impressive game, number 24, the impact player. 3 deflections and a pick.
From their own
3rd
15-yard
and
line.
8 now. Antrell Roll gets a hand on it and deflects it. It's going to be 4th and 8 now from their own 15. We'll see how aggressive, and no, not aggressive. Immediately the punt unit comes onto the field, down by 25. Punter punting just inside their own end zone, so you understand why.
There's a punt, it's a line
Schumacher
and he can't hang on to the ball.
muffs it, but it's recovered by the cover man.
Concentration for return man is of the utmost importance.
Well, at least for now, the crisis was averted and they keep control of the ball. We're late in the fourth quarter. This game has been a blowout for quite some time. And
1st and 10 now from the 47-yard line. And Tommy Tanuvasa can't get the pitch off.
Going on that run?
Well, that's a good question. I thought for a while he got his directions messed up.
Loss of 4 there. Makes it 2nd and 14.
From their own 48-yard line. It's 2nd down.
Flex bone
Just over
for
2 minutes
Tommy
remaining.
Tanuvasa. And Metcalf on the drag of the spin route fakes out a defender. Now we're under 2 minutes. It's 3rd and 2.
It's 3rd down, and they're about 2 yards shy of the sticks.
And Bovaro with a miracle catch for the 1st down. Fantastic catch in traffic and all the momentum in the world here, up by 25 with 1 minute and 12 remaining in the game. Ripped it out of the defender's hands. 1st and 10 now from the 34-yard line.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 34-yard line.
Metcalf loses 2 yards, as it looks like both coaches are prepared to let this game end, as Utah is not calling a timeout. And with this victory formation, that's going to end the game.
And the quarterback's going to take a knee.
And it's going to be 42-17, the final. Number 1 over number 17. A big win for Syracuse. And a fantastic defensive performance with 4 picks and a lot of deflections against a good Utah offense. .350 yards of total offense against 250. It's worth noting that Syracuse had 190 yards of total offense in the first half, and Utah had 216 yards of total offense in the first half. 228 yards on the ground is an incredible offensive performance on the ground in any user game. And surprisingly, Syracuse losing the third down conversion battle. But it is the 4 picks against 1 turnover on downs, which they don't count as a turnover. Dominant time of possession. The Utes had 6 minutes of possession in the first half and only 4 in the second half. Tommy Tandavasa, 13 for 16. A big boost, a big improvement in the second half. On the ground, Metcalf, 15 for 76. Tandavasa, 14 for 148. Through the air, Allworth, the only wide receiver with a catch this game for Syracuse Orange. All Metcalf. So many catches for Metcalf. Antrell Roll, no sacks, but 4 picks by Edwards, Roll, Bailey, and Fletcher. Evans, 13 for 25. He was 11 for 15 in the first half, so a dramatic drop in the second half. Green, no running game whatsoever. Receiving, it was all spread around in the first half. The second half was all Dixon. Dixon had 2 catches in the first half. None of those guys. They all had 2. They all had 2 in the first half. 2 or 1. They didn't catch anything. It was only Dixon in the second, and Robinson leading the way with 8 tackles. A good indicator when your middle linebacker's getting there, but not enough, especially as the turnovers. Turnovers are the story, and a second half shutout for the Orange ends the game 42-17. Thanks for joining us for the first of our doubleheader. In about 15 minutes or so, we're going to have the second half of our doubleheader. I am going to play my Navy midshipman hosting the coach Brack, the coach of Utah's former team, where he was last season, season 15. The ECU Pirates are coming to Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium a short 15 minutes from now. So stick around, and we'll kick off that game, the second of our doubleheader, soon. See you then.
Welcome back, sports fans. We are here live for Game 2 of our exciting doubleheader here late in Season 16 of League 1. This will be the former team of the coach you just watched, the current coach of Utah, who coached in Game 1 against Syracuse, the top 25 battle, used to coach ECU and built this roster up. And we're going to let Coach Ninja guide you through the ECU Pirates. This is a team that was under a user until a year ago. So there's going to be some talent there. There's excitement. You can already see one worthy of talking about. And Coach Ninja will lead the way on that here in this Game 2 action.
Thanks, Coach. Kingsley Afidi is a 98 overall senior redshirt quarterback. Sometimes Heisman candidate. He is fantastic. Great agility, great acceleration, good speed, great awareness, and if you look, he's getting 264 yards a game through the air. He's got 24 to 2 touchdowns to interceptions, and another 57 yards a game on the ground with 3 touchdowns. It's just fantastic. He is backed up by Trace Christian, the 2 in their 1-2 punch. He gets 85 yards a game and another 34 through the air. He is fantastic as well. They don't really use Vincent McCoy, the fullback, to speak of. Leroy Henley gets 50 yards a game. Borders and Brown a little bit each, as with Wright. But the one that they really prefer to go to is Ben Norris, the tight end. So that's a dangerous combination, a 98 quarterback, a 92 halfback, and a 93 tight end. Their offensive line is 77, 75, 75, 76, but they're bookended here by a 91 senior, Silas Danzy. So he's great, making up for the mediocrity across the rest of the board. So we're going to try and isolate him, prevent him from helping out anyone else in order to get pressure. Their defense is pretty solid, 79, 87 with an 86 D tackle. If they put Kendrick on the field, that's a possibility for us to exploit. Linebackers are solid but not amazing at 83, 86, and 78. Corners are likewise 72, 79, 77. But Johnson, the nickel corner going to cover the slot, has incredible awareness, and the first two have great speed. Free safety Harris is 88 and an impact player, and Devondre Robinson is 90 and an All-American, so they're going to be dangerous in the secondary for sure. Kicker's okay, punter is good, but we do not want to get near those safeties. We want to keep it all in front of them, and we want to isolate Ifedi, Christian, and Dancy. And as Coach saying, strong safety number 13, Robinson, is the bellwether of that defense. So we're gonna try and stay away from the strong safety, attack the quarterback and the halfback and the tight end, and try to take this game. But they're a good team. They've got a great turnover differential and a great offense. So we'll see what we can do.
And we are all set to get underway. This exciting American Conference affair. 2 teams in the running for winning their respective divisions. This has the potential of being a preview of the conference championship games, but both teams still have work to do to get there. This game might be the difference maker for one of these two teams. They are contending for their division. It is a close race in both. And this is a conference game and will count as a conference win. Navy on the rebound, coming home, thankful to do so following the unsuccessful road trip to New Orleans, coming off the loss to Tulane last week. The midshipmen still in the running for the division at 4-2. They desperately want to get to 5-2 and remain in contention. Coming into the game, the midshipmen favor the pass actually this season and are averaging almost 29 points a game. Defensively outstanding, second against the run nationally, third overall defensive yardage, and 18th in scoring defense at only 22.6 a game. That's less than East Carolina, and you see the difference between 18th and 60th. 29 points a game for the Pirates they're giving up. Now their offense is their strength. They are 16th in scoring offense. They're averaging 38 points a game. They rack up 480 yards of offense on the average. That puts them 9th nationally in the nation. They are a top 10 offense. Passing and rushing balanced at 23rd. They could do one or the other. Led by a 98 quarterback, as Coach Ninja pointed out to you. The midshipmen with Hayes and Rawls being the leaders, along with Carter, the offensive line. Navy always having a strong offensive line. You know, it's a priority for Coach Ninja. Meanwhile, Afidi, Norris, and Christian, the top players for the Pirates, all above 90. Afidi, the particular one, because he's going to be touching the football on most plays. We're coming to you live from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, Maryland. This is Navy football. It's a bright sunny day here on the shores of the Chesapeake Bay as Canoe U, battling to stay in the leaders' race for their division, taking on the Pirates of East Carolina, two aquatic universities, both near the water, maybe with a little bit more focus on aquatic endeavors by nature. The kickoff coming shortly to get this game underway, as Navy will receive the kickoff to start the second half.
Sends it sailing downfield.
Deep into the paint it goes, out past the end line. That means the ECU will take over at their own 25 to get this game underway. No time off the clock, as no one has touched the football other than the toe of Rawls. First and 10, middle of the field, 25-yard line, and we are underway. As Mills Lane might say, let's get it on. Swing pass out to the right side, good for 8 yards. Going to be second and short, and it looks like it's going to be a no-huddle day for the Pirates. They have an aggressive offensive setup. Back to pass goes Afidi, makes the right decision, throws to the sideline, good for 3 yards. He got a foot in bounds. And it looks like they're going to take another look at this. You judge for yourself.
Making throws that quickly. The defense doesn't have a lot of time to
Catches
react
it
to the
1
threat.
foot on the sideline, but anybody who knows NCAA football knows this could go either way. It is reversed. That is going to result in no first down. It is now 3rd and 2 for the Pirates. The ball rests on the right hash of the 33-yard line.
So it's 3rd down, and they've got about 2 yards to go.
Out of the huddle they come. They've got a fullback and a halfback. Hand off to the halfback. Running to the left. Good blocking. It's to the 3rd level before he's touched, and 2 defenders bring him down after a 27-yard run. Staying with the no huddle are the Pirates. They've got a tight end to the left side. Navy has 3 down linemen. Back to pass is Afidi and throws to the sideline. It's good for 9 to Ben Norris. That's going to set up every coach's favorite down and distance. It's 2nd and 1 from just outside the 30-yard line. ECU staying with the fullback and halfback formation. Now a run to the right side. Defenders there, lots of bodies, and the 3rd and 4th Navy defenders able to wrap him up. Ryan Downs coming all the way from that 3rd layer. The star safety for the midshipmen playing a part in that tackle. It's now 3rd down, 3 yards to go. The 33-yard line is where the ball rests. It sits on the right hash. ECU coming out with a tight end and a halfback. Back to pass goes Afidi, throwing it out to the left sideline. Good for positive yards and a first down. It's an 11-yard gain to James Brown as ECU goes all the way to the edge. Bunch 3 receivers to the left side for ECU. They throw to the right side, and Henley makes the catch. That's a 17-yard gain. That's going to set up ECU with 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. They're going to stay with this no huddle and roll the dice again. Navy responding, multiple down linemen, and bodies are there. The midshipmen were ready for it, and we now have 2nd and goal from about the 6. Tight end set, halfback for the Pirates. Up the gut they go. Defenders there, but he's pushed aside by Trace Christian. And he finds his way into the paint for the first points of the ball game. It's 6-0 ECU here, less than 2 minutes into the game. Only a minute and 40 seconds off the clock so far. It goes between the pipes, and the Pirates will kick off to the midshipmen, and your middies will have their first possession of the ball game coming up shortly.
I thought the defense was on its heels most of the drive because of the versatility of the offense.
So the score now, 7-0. He's to the 20.
Manson breaks it outside, gets just past the 25. It'll be about the 25 and a half where they mark it. The scoreboard says 25. It'll be on the left hash as the midshipmen take over 1st and 10.
Gets ready to take their first crack at it.
3 down linemen for the Pirates, facing off against multiple receivers for the middies. Shotgun set. To Hayes, back to pass, looking, throws on the drag route to Richards. Vince Richards gets a yard and a half after the catch. Now going to be 2nd and 5 from the left side of the field. The ball at the 30-yard line.
From their own 30-yard line, it's 2nd down.
Middies come out, spreading the ball out again, spreading the formation out. They've got an 11 personnel set, though. 1 halfback is in the backfield, and there are 4 down linemen for the Pirates. The midshipmen content to let the clock melt away and keep their players rested. Quarterback keeps it. Reggie Hayes makes the right decision. Gets beyond the first down marker by a yard. It's a 6-yard gain. Now going to be 1st and 10 from about maybe 2 or 3 yards inside the left hash.
and 10. Ball on their own 36.
Midshipmen break the huddle with twin tight ends. 4 down linemen for the Pirates. And up the middle they go. Bright gets the carry, picks up 3. Now going to be second down, 7 yards to go as we approach the halfway point of the first quarter.
It's second down, 7 to go. Ball on the 39.
39-yard line, 2 yards inside the hash. As Navy breaks the huddle, they have 11 personnel, tight end and halfback on the strong side. Back to pass goes Hayes, finds Green out of the backfield. Will Green picks up 13 yards to the right side of the field. Going to be a fresh set of downs for the midshipmen in ECU territory at the 48-yard line.
From the 48-yard line, first down.
Right hash is where it rests. It's a shotgun split big formation for the middies. 4 down linemen for ECU. Fakes the give, quarterback pitches it, Bright breaks a tackle and turns nothing into something. In fact, it's a 6-yard gain to the left side. That's going to set up the midshipmen with 2nd and 4 from the 42-yard line.
They're about 4 yards away here on second down.
Eye tight once again for the midshipmen. 4 down linemen for ECU. Move being made at the line of scrimmage. And the quarterback gives it up the A-gap to the left. Good for 4 yards, but not the full 4 and something that they needed. Instead, it's going to be 3rd and 1 is what they call it. It'll be at the left hash on the 39-yard line in that tricky part of the field. Maybe trying to respond to ECU scoring on their opening drive.
It's 3rd down, and this offense is about 3 feet away from that first down marker.
Navy breaks the huddle with 5 receivers spread out along the field. 3rd down, 1 yard to go. Back to pass goes Hayes, looks over the middle, diving catch by Vince Richards. Whether he needed to or not, it was effective. It results in a fresh set of downs for your Navy midshipmen. 1st and 10 at the ECU 37-yard line. Ball still resting on the left hash.
First down, 10 to go.
Middies break the huddle. They got the tight end up there with the lineman and a halfback in the backfield. Fakes to give up the gut. Hayes on the keeper, finds a gap and rips the middle of the ECU defense for a 22-yard gain. Going to be 1st and 10 deep in ECU's red zone. At almost the perfect distance. They're at about the 14. They're going to call it the 16. I knew it was near the 15. In fact, that gives them room to get a first down before the goal line, should they need it. Right now, they need 10 yards to get that first down.
From the 16-yard line, it's
Midshipmen trying to get into the checkerboard. They break the huddle with 11 personnel, 4 down linemen for the Pirates. Hayes surveys the field. Takes the snap, drops back, and finds Green out of the backfield. Will Green able to get 7 yards on first down. Now going to be 2nd and 3 as the midshipmen go no huddle. They want to keep ECU's personnel package on the field. Still content to hurry up and wait. Navy wanted to keep those players on the field, but that doesn't mean they're not interested in giving some of their players a rest should they need it. Being careful are the midshipmen, and up the gut goes Green.
Right around the 6-yard line.
Brad, you just don't
It's
see
not
this
pretty,
very
but
often.
it is surely effective.
First down on this
Good enough for the
drive.
first down at the 6. First and goal from the 6. Navy knocking on the doorstep.
Help. They need to change things up.
First and goal from the 6. Right hash mark. Navy with a halfback and a tight end. 3 receivers. 4 down linemen for ECU. Hayes takes the snap, drops back, surveys, throws to the flat on the right side. It is complete, and it's 4 of the yards that they needed. It is a hair short, and it's going to be second and goal from the 2. Still here in the first quarter. This is the first drive for the midshipmen. ECU scored on their first drive. Navy trying to respond.
From the 2-yard line.
1.5. They'll call it 2. Twin tight ends for the middies. Hayes switches it up. They go to the left, and he is halfway there. They'll call it a 1-yard gain. Looks like he's about 7 inches shy of the goal line. It's awfully close, and we now have third and goal. Could be the last play of the first quarter. Fullback dive. Leonard Scott gets into the paint. Leonard Scott, the fullback for the midshipmen, scores their opening points, and we've got a tie ball game awaiting the extra point.
Down in short yardage situations.
Here comes the kicker to try to tie this game up.
Here live at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. The ball goes through the end line and knotted at 7. Looks like ECU is going to get one last play to close out the opening frame of this tie football game. Ball sitting at the 25-yard line in the middle of the field. Where you've got 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a fullback, and a halfback. For the Pirates, looks like anything goes. See if Navy adjusts correctly. And they have the bodies there. They hold Trace Christian to a 0-yard gain. That's going to close out the first quarter. Both teams having a full possession, both teams taking it into the paint. We are knotted at 1 score apiece as we enter the second frame. Just 1 play into ECU's second possession. It resulted in no gain, thanks to the Navy defense. And now we have 2nd and 10.
And we're ready for more football here in quarter number 2.
ECU breaks the huddle with a bunch, 2 receivers to the right and a tight end to the left. Back to pass and slinging it to the left side. Navy defense patrolling the sideline, and Trace Christian is swallowed up for a 4-yard loss. Big 3rd and long now for ECU. Rafidi drops back to pass,
He's under pressure.
moves to his right and gets swallowed up.
The 19-yard
The
line.
Navy defense wasn't going to sit still for very long. They allowed him to take a step or two, but once he got near that line of scrimmage, they reacted quickly and swallow up Rafidi, stuffing that offensive drive. The second possession for the Pirates, and Navy's going to get their second possession following what will be a punt by the ECU Pirates. We're fresh into the second quarter,
Long here after the sack.
and already one arrow hits home as the Navy defense gets a stop here in the first half. Ball goes to the 39. Manson takes it 8 yards up the field, and they are going to take over possession in excellent field position at about the 48. We'll see where they spot it. It's the 47, in fact, where we will begin Navy's second drive just inside their own territory. Already the ball resting on the end.
Let's see if they start to open it up a little bit more now.
Shotgun split big for the middies. 4 down lineman for ECU. We'll see what happens. Hayes keeps it, finds the gap, and gets the first down. It's a shoestring tackle. There were a couple of defenders close, but none got there, and none had any chance, really, to get him before the first down marker. That was a given pretty much 2 seconds after the snap of the ball.
It's 1st and 10. Ball on the 42.
Navy now holding the edge in offensive yardage. They have the ball in a tie game. They've stopped ECU once. They're looking to take control here in the early going. Twin tight ends, twin halfbacks, and a quarterback. Shotgun split big. Up the gut they go to Green, and he finds 3 yards there in the nooks and crannies. And we now have 2nd and 7, 6:25 and counting in the second quarter.
From the 39-yard
Ball
line.
resting on the left hash. And Navy comes out with twin tight ends once again. Hayes puts a man in motion. Richards from right to left and throws to Richards. He catches it underneath for 4. That's more than half the distance. Now going to be 3rd and 3. Maybe 3.2 from the 35. It's kind of that tricky area of the field where you don't want to kick it from the 35. The first down means everything in the world. Could secure points for Navy as they line up here with 5 receivers on the field. Hayes in a shotgun set. Takes the snap, looks, and completes the drag route to Vince Richards. Vince Richards coming up with a big 11-yard reception. That's his 4th catch of the day. 21 yards only, but 21 important yards for the midshipman. Another big catch for Vince Richards. Gives the middies a first down approaching the red zone. There's a little bit over 5 minutes left before we hit the halftime break. 11 personnel for Navy. 4 down linemen still for ECU. That seems to be their MO. Hayes on the quarterback keeper off the read option. He's got plenty of room. Gets the first down and a yard or 2 more. Now going to be 1st and 10 from the 12. Just about the middle of the field. And Navy has a good drive going here.
12-yard line. 1st down.
Shotgun split big. 2 halfbacks, 2 tight ends for the middies. Might be a 4-3 there for ECU here on 1st and 10. Option run. Quarterback keeps it, picks up positive yardage. They call it 6 feet. That means it's 2nd and 24 feet. The ball's in the middle of the field, resting at the 10-yard line. Still room for Navy to get a first down, but right now they're thinking yardage.
2nd down.
ECU stays with the 4 down linemen. Navy stays with the twin tight ends. Back to pass is Hayes. Looks to the drag route left to right. And Reggie Henry, the star tight end for the midshipmen, picks up a key clutch catch. And it does indeed give the midshipmen that short first down. Going to be 1st and goal from the 2 as they break the huddle, middle of the second quarter. Both teams staying with their MOs. 4 down linemen for ECU, 2 end tight end sets for Navy, and so far the edge in that matchup going to the midshipmen. We've got 3:42 remaining in the football game. Navy's about to kick off to ECU. Sorry, in the first half, rather. Not the football game, but in the first half. Each half is a game in and of itself. And that's the way that I see things.
Let's check in with Reese Davis in the studio.
Let's take a look at some scores.
The fact of the matter is that Navy has edged a toe in front. And they're about to receive the kickoff.
All right, thanks, Reese.
Sorry, they're about to kick the ball off, leading by a touchdown. But Navy having ascended. Remember that ECU started with the ball. So any scenario in the first half where Navy is playing from ahead, well, that's a shovel well bared. Thanks to the touchback, the ball is in the middle of the field at the 25-yard line. And ECU comes out with a fullback and a halfback and a tight end. And back to pass is Afidi. He completes it, but not for much. They only count it as 1. Now going to be 2nd and 9, and ECU staying with their no huddle. We'll see how Navy responds. Back to pass is Afidi. Looks to the left and hands all over the place. Will Garrett had that well covered, had his body and all 10 fingers in position on the football, unable to make the grab, but stops ECU on 2nd down, and now we've got another 3rd and long. 3 down linemen for the middies here on 3rd and long. Men in motion left to right. Perkins trying to break through. Can't. It does get late. Rushes the throw enough. He hits the outlet pass, but it's only good for 1. That means it's 4th down. That means Navy's about to get the football with the lead. They couldn't ask for a better position with ECU receiving the opening kickoff. The Navy offense still with work to do. Plenty of lunch pails to be carried. There's 3:04 remaining in the second quarter, and Navy leads by 7. Hayes drops back and dumps it out to Green. The halfback almost uncovered. Picks up 9 on the play. Going to be 2nd and every coach's favorite down and distance. 1 yard to go. Navy has all the options in the world. They don't waste any shenanigans. They go right up the gut. They pick up the yardage, and they'll gladly take the fresh set of downs. Looks like they're on the hunt for first downs. 1st and 10, 2:36 remaining in the half as Navy takes the football right just inside the midfield stripe. Perfectly read, perfectly handed off. It was the perfect call for the defense, and it was enacted instantaneously as Hayes astutely reads the defense as things are happening. Coach Ninja makes the perfect give of the gut on the triple option. Chooses route A up the heart of the defense, and he finds daylight. Perfectly read in a millisecond's time.
And he adds the extra point. It was a quick three-play, 63-yard drive, and the result, 7 points. They line up to kick this one.
Tight end set now as Afidi gives it to Christian. He breaks a tackle. That's going to result in positive yardage. That means it's 2nd and 6, and they'll stay no huddle. They've been doing no huddle the whole first half, but it suits them now with just 2:02 remaining. Fullback to the left and a pitch to the left. Christian is tackled by the first man on the scene. Going to result in a loss of 1. Navy recruits and employs physical corners. They'll break blocks. They'll cover the edge if they're in the neighborhood. 3rd and 7 now. Navy has a chance.
It's 3rd down, 7 yards. Ball on the 28.
A tight end and a fullback to the left. Back to pass goes Afidi. Reads the defense. Throws to his right on his baby screen. And bodies were there, but he breaks the tackle, and the second defender was already falling to the ground. He was able to get to the 3rd layer, and that's a big first down for ECU. Good pressure by Navy. Flushes the ball quickly out to the sideline. But there just weren't enough bodies there that time. ECU, like Coach Brack, apparently favoring the sideline routes, favoring the edges of the field rather than the middle. Single back set for the Pirates. Afidi drops back, flings it out to Brown in the flat on the right side as they continue to attack the edge of the field. They pick up the first down. Now going to be 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line. Navy comes out with 3 down linemen, showing almost a 4-2. Afidi gets flushed. The second defender tackles him, limits him to only 2 yards, and now the midshipman defense have something to work with. They're facing a 2nd and 8 from the 31-yard line. There are pieces in place.
From the 31-yard line.
ECU under pressure, trailing by 2 scores right before the break. They've got a bunch, but they put a man in motion to the right. Afidi drops back, and there are too many bodies. It is a sack for the Navy defense. That's a huge play on the right side of the ball for the team ahead.
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. And another one gone, and another one gone, another one bites the dust. Hey, gonna get to another one bites the dust.
We're coming out here on 3rd and long. It's a shotgun. No, he's under center, but there are spread receivers out there, and Navy responding in a quarter. Afidi drops back, rolls to his right, flings it desperately, and there are more defensive hands in the area than there are offensive hands. The ball falls harmlessly to the turf, and it looks like ECU is going to attempt a mile-long field goal. The ball at almost the 36-yard line.
It's up, looks long enough, and it's good.
He makes the field goal.
Gonna get a chance to kick one of those. We saw him warming up from
ECU
60
making a
yards
claim
before the game.
saying,
21-10, Navy.
you still have work to do, Navy.
Bell looks ready to kick this one off.
The kick goes not in the end zone. It's taken by right 3 yards outside of the end zone. He picks up positive yardage. He's beyond the 25 to about the 27.5-yard line. We'll see where they spot it, but it will be on the right hash as Navy breaks the huddle leading by 11. There's 53 seconds left, and the midshipmen have 2 timeouts.
And offense is back on the field after running the ball very
Middies
well.
break the huddle. ECU responding with 4 down linemen. Midshipmen with a shotgun split big. They execute the option to the right side, and Hayes picks up positive yards, but it's going to put the clock in motion at the 32. Navy with the 2-score lead, not in any particular rush to make any mistakes right now. They are at home. They have a multiple score lead. And it looks like they are content to go into the locker room with things as they are. Hayes picks up the first down. We'll see what happens here with 19 seconds left. Navy's going to go no huddle. They're going to take a look and see. They're going to peek under the cupboard. Option to the right side, and Hayes gets rid of it. He gets positive yards almost to the 50. 10 seconds, 9, and it looks like Navy doesn't want to chuck it deep and risk an interception. Looks like the midshipmen are going to head into halftime ahead, 21-10 over ECU here in Annapolis. We're going to pause for about 7 minutes. We'll be back shortly. Thank you for joining us for the second game here in League 1 Friday night action.
Hi, everybody. Glad to have you with us on the EA Sports NCAA Football 14 halftime show presented by Nissan. Innovation that excites. David Pollock here in the studio as always to lend a little perspective to what just went down in the first 30 minutes. So far, so good for both offenses in terms of taking care of the football, but now the defenses are ramping up the sense of urgency in terms of trying to get the ball back for their offense.
Absolutely. You got to find Reese. These ball hawks on defense, they need to find the football. They need to make some big plays, create some turnovers. How about using that hit stick a little bit? How about knocking somebody silly and making them drop the football? I mean, defense's #1 priority is trying to turn the football over, try to make a big explosive play for your offense so they can do more damage and they can take the ball down the field. So those ball hawks need to show themselves in the second half.
David and I will stay locked in on everything going on in college football. Going to wrap it up here in the studio. Just about time to get you out to your second half. Brad and Kirk ready with a call.
We are set to get the second half underway. It's a 21-10 ball game. Navy ahead by 11, and they're about to receive the kickoff to start the second half. Out of the end zone comes Manson. He gets beyond the 25 and looks like a half a yard beyond the 30. That's going to be where Navy takes over to start the second half. At the 30.5-yard line on the left hash.
The quarterback leads the offense back out onto the field as we get set to resume play.
11 personnel for Navy. Safety creeping up for ECU. Give up the gut goes nowhere. Will Green met in the backfield. Going to be a loss of 2. Now going to be 2nd and 12. We're just barely into the second half as Navy leads by 11.
That was more of a miscommunication and just getting overmatched up front by the offensive line.
From their own 28-yard line.
Coach Ninja brings them out of the huddle. They've got a tight end and a halfback on the right side and 2 receivers on the left. Back to pass goes Hayes, looking and finds Green out of the backfield on the angle route. Picks up 5 yards. Now going to be 3rd and approachable. 7 yards to go, 21 feet for the Navy offense. The ball resting at their own 33-yard line. So they're outside their own 30.
It's 3rd down and 7 to
But
go.
now facing 3rd and long.
There are 5 wide receivers.
Multiple receivers in play for the midshipmen. Looks like a dime set up for ECU. As Reggie Hayes takes the snap, drops back, hits the second receiver, and there's a flag on the play, probably a face mask. Indeed it is. That's going to tack on 15 yards to that big play. That was a 10-yard, or maybe an 11-yard play, and added to it is 15. That takes the ball all the way down into ECU territory. Navy with excellent field position at the Pirates' 40-yard line, facing 1st and 10.
First down, 10 yards to go. Ball on the 40-yard line.
6:25 left in the third quarter. Navy has 2 tight ends and 2 halfbacks in the backfield. Quarterback keeper, he takes advantage of his blockers. He picks up 8. Reggie Hayes with an 8-yard gain. He's out to 74 yards so far on 8 carries. Another successful running play for Reggie Hayes there, picking up 8, setting up 2nd and 2. And the ball almost just about, you would think, in scoring range. It's sitting at the 32-yard line. Navy has an excellent kicker. Rawls can make it from here. In the meantime, the midshipmen have 2 downs to get 6 feet. Twin tight ends set for Navy. Up the gut they go, and the fullback picks up the first defender. That allows Bright to pick up more yards, and he gets the first down. They'll call it 4. The ball now inside ECU's 30. Navy ahead 21-10, and we are getting ever closer to the midway point of the third quarter.
From the 29-yard line.
You see the first down edges. Navy having had an extra possession, holding ECU to just 10. This is one of the best. This is the top 10 offense this year in yardage. ECU with a top 10 offense, and so far Coach Ninja has put on a defensive display, holding the Pirates to 10 points. Right now, holding possession of the football with a 2-score lead. They're trying to take command of this right here and right now.
It's 2nd down, 6 to go.
4:35 and counting. Midshipmen come out in 11 personnel once again. 4 down linemen for ECU as per usual. Back to pass goes Hayes, hits the drag route from right to left, and McKinley almost picks up the first. He picks up about 85, 92, something in there percent of it. It's now going to be 3rd and about 8 inches from the 19-yard line, ball resting on the right hash. It's a key game. 2 7-2 football teams, each trying to make the conference championship game. Separate divisions, but a conference game nonetheless. Up the gut goes Hayes. It ain't pretty, but it is surely effective. He picks up the necessary yards and more. Now going to be 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. We are beyond the halfway point of the 3rd quarter, and the Midshipmen hold a 2-score lead. More than happy to melt seconds off the clock, holding possession in ECU's red zone. We're here in season 16, week 12 action.
This is the 9th play of this drive.
In League 1 play. Our first game was a user game. This game is user CPU, but we have all sorts of sliders and adjustments and rules that favor the CPU. We give as many advantages as is humanly possible, whether it's through recruiting limitations or play limit limitations, or plays that work every time and you can no longer call them limitations. We do everything possible to make the CPU as challenging as possible. And despite all that, despite the advantages, and despite ECU having a 98 quarterback, it is Navy, the Midshipmen, in control of this football game right now, presently ahead by 11, inside the 10-yard line. Green gets the carry, and he's beyond the marker. It's 1st and goal, and it's only a matter of time. Second verse, same as the first. In fact, this is about the 4th verse. As the Midshipmen knocking on the doorstep of the Pirates, the ball resting on the 5-yard line, but it's 1st down.
And this is the 11th play of the current drive.
They break the huddle. Navy comes out with 2 tight ends and 2 halfbacks. 4-3 defense for ECU. Option to the inside, and once again, Navy catches ECU off guard. The give up the gut on the triple option, highly effective. It results in another 6 points. And Navy well in control of this football game, leading by 18, awaiting the extra point. As we are just 2 minutes and 12 seconds away from the final frame of action. Meanwhile, in conference play, just before the half, SMU leads Tulsa 20-17. The Mustangs trying to maintain pressure on the Midshipmen, as well as the Tulsa Green Wave. All 3 teams contenders for the division title. That means this conference game, while it's interdivisional, still extremely important for both teams. And right now, we are approaching the final period, and Navy in control, leading by 18. We'll see what happens. ECU starting to run out of answers. They face 1st and 10 on their own 31-yard line. No, 26-yard line. Up the gut they go. They pick up 4. Now going to be 2nd and 6. They stay with the no huddle. No changes so far in their MO. There is an attempt up the gut, back to back. This one sniffed out by the midshipman defense and held to no gain. We now have 3rd and 7. ECU comes out with a halfback and 3 receivers and a tight end in motion. Afidi drops back, looks, fires over the middle of the field to Brown, and Kingsley Afidi able to pick up a play for ECU when they really needed it. Navy hoping to regroup as the Pirates continue to go no huddle. The ball near the midfield stripe, but still in ECU territory. Man in motion left to right and back to pass, and dodging the first tackler, unable to dodge the second tackler, but turns a 3-yard loss into a 1-yard gain. And we now have 2nd and 9 as ECU continues with the no huddle. Afidi drops back and flings it into the middle of the field to Mason. There's a flag on the play, might be holding or clipping. It's roughing the passer, in fact. So they'll take the positive yardage and tack on 15. And just like that, the ball rests on Navy's 23-yard line. ECU trails by 3 scores, though. They're at the base of Mount Everest, but they still have Mount Everest to climb. The 23-yard line, just inside the right hash line, is where ECU takes over on 1st and 10. Back to pass is Afidi. There's good pressure, but he gets rid of the ball quickly, smartly, 9 yards to the right side of the field, and we now have 2nd and 1 from inside the 15. They go up the gut, and Mason picks up the necessary yardage, in fact 6. Now going to be 1st and goal from about the 6.5, maybe the 7-yard line. Less than 10 yards, though, here on 1st down. And they stay up the gut, but there are more bodies there this time by the midshipman. And Joe Sapp picking up his 2nd tackle for loss today. Here in the 3rd quarter, that's going to force ECU into 2nd and goal from the 10. Down and distance is important as Coach Ninja tries to guess what ECU might do. They give the draw play up the gut, but talent prevails. Navy had good personnel in there on the line, and they were able to bypass their blocker and make the quick tackle there on that give up the gut. We're going to come back to the 4th quarter with Navy ahead by multiple scores, trying to make ECU work for this one. Shotgun set. Afidi tries the screen route to the left. And into the end zone goes Christian. Probably too little too late, but it does draw ECU within 11 awaiting the extra point. They're going to pull within 28-17 on the first play of the 4th quarter. And it might be a little bit of a guessing game as to how ECU kicks off. One would suspect they'll kick off regular. But then there's still work to be done for Navy. This thing not over yet. It is a 2-point conversion. ECU making the astute call. The right move here. Let's see what happens. Man in motion, left to right. Back to pass, Afidi. Scrambles to his right, breaks the tackle, finds his way into the paint. It's worth 2 points. It's going to change the necessity for ECU to go for a second 2-point conversion. They are now within 10 They need a touchdown and a field goal only. They can kick the extra point should they find their way into Navy's end zone. Meanwhile, the midshipmen happy to receive a regular kickoff. They have possession of the football as we begin the fourth quarter for real this time.
Both teams are well aware that a score on this drive is going to create an
ECU coming out with 3 down linemen. Navy, 5 receivers on the field. Hayes back to pass. Finds the slant route. Option B, good for 9 yards. Going to be every coach's favorite down and distance. Second down, 1 yard to go
They can pull it in and make something happen.
for the midshipmen. Maybe ahead by 10. We are in the final quarter of the football game. Yet, still many minutes to go.
It's second down now. They're just a few
7:28 to be exact. They break the huddle. Navy coming out with 2 tight ends and 2 halfbacks. They fake up the gut, and Hayes keeps it. He picks up 6. He had a little pocket there to start with and turned it into an extra 2 yards before he got contact. That's going to be good for a first down as Navy comes out of the huddle, staying with the shotgun split big near the middle of the field on 1st and 10 here in the fourth quarter. Option play to the left side. Hayes keeps it, picks up positive yards, waits a step, takes advantage of the block. It's good for an extra 7 yards, more than you would expect, and an excellent play by Reggie Hayes, orchestrated by Coach Ninja, setting up a 1st and 10 now in ECU territory. 6.5 minutes, just shy of it remaining. Staying with 11 personnel, staying with 4 down linemen. The give up the gut to Green, and he's got room to spare. Picks up the first down and more. It's a 13-yard gain, gashing up the gut. Navy knew that ECU at that particular time was not looking for that. Perfect play call by Coach Ninja. Sets up a 1st and 10 at the 34-yard line. Navy in control, trying to close this one out.
From the 34-yard line.
34-yard line, almost the heartland of the midfield. Shotgun split big. To the left they go. It is a fumble, and the defender, Gray, off and running. The ball was put on the turf, and it's going to be a defensive touchdown for ECU. That's going to pull them. That's the first turnover of the game, and that's going to pull ECU within 3, awaiting the extra point. There's a flag on the play. Let's see. No, there's no flag. No flag on the play. The touchdown was out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Stopped just shy. Still a chance for Navy to hold them to 3. Unbelievable set of circumstances here late in the game. Just when you thought it wasn't possible, midshipmen give you hope. 2nd and goal. And Trace Christian finds his way into the paint. We are one extra point away from being in a 3-point ball game. However, with 5:07 remaining, Navy very likely to receive the kickoff here in the fourth quarter, holding a small lead, but with possession of the football.
He splits the uprights with the extra point. And it looks like they're ready for the kickoff.
Just another reason for you to always cross your T's and dot your I's. Pay attention to the details all the way to the final whistle. Every play matters. The game is not won until the clock reads 0. In fact, it is 28-25. The midshipmen have the lead and the football. There's 5:01 remaining on the clock. Both teams with the full complement of timeouts. Calculating moves here late in the football game as Navy comes out with 11 personnel. Hayes drops back, and out of the backfield is Wesley Green. Wesley picking up 5 yards in the flat, as there were not a whole lot of defensive bodies there, taking advantage of a weakness in that particular defense. Gives Navy a 2nd and 5. They still hold the lead. They have the football. Second and 5 as they break the huddle. It is still, once again, 4 down linemen for ECU. And this time, twin tight ends and 1 halfback for Navy. Quarterback keeps it, picks up positive yards, half the distance to the first down. Now going to be 3rd down and 6 feet to go. The ball near midfield. Navy leading by 3 in the last half of the fourth quarter.
It's 3rd down, and they're about 2 yards.
Squeaky bum time for both teams. 3rd and 2, 3:40 remaining. Hayes drops back, hits the drag route. Good for the first down and more. Vince Richards, ever dependable, picks up his 5th catch of the day. Only 27 yards. It hasn't been pretty, but it has been damned important. Vince Richards making his 4th, 5th important catch for the midshipmen. Sets Navy up with a 1st and 10 near midfield. We've only got 3:20 remaining. Navy clinging to a 3-point, 28-25 lead. Hayes fakes the handoff. They bite on it, and he's able to get positive yards, 5 in fact. Now going to be 2nd and 5. Excellent read on the read option. Coach Ninja reading the play as it developed, making the right decision. Ball now at the 44-yard line. We've only got 2:42 on the clock, and the numbers are moving.
From the 44-yard line.
Navy breaks the huddle, comes out in 11 personnel once again. This time, 3 down linemen for the Pirates. They fire it out of the backfield. Green on the angle route picks up 12 key yards. Wesley Green with his 6th catch for 51 yards. He's been effective on the ground and in the air. He's got over 100 yards of offense. Wesley Green, an important factor today for Navy doing some of the dirty work for the midshipmen. They now have the ball at the 32-yard line on 1st and 10 with a slim lead. They need to keep moving. Let's see what happens. To the outside goes Hayes. He cuts back upfield, picks up 9 yards. Big play, and now ECU facing the midnight hour, forced to call a timeout here on 2nd and 1. 22-yard line is where the ball sits. Navy would love nothing more than another first down. Navy surveys the playbook, settles on a decision. They're going to break the huddle with the eye tight, twin tight ends, and a fullback and a halfback. 4-3 defense for ECU. Up the gut they go, and it is good for the first down. Bright finds 4 yards when he needed 1. And the dagger in the gut of the Pirates results in a Navy first down at the 18-yard line. The Pirates with just 1 timeout. There's 1:47 on the clock. The timeout by ECU has stopped the clock. Navy's going to have to get it in motion, and we might be talking about math here.
From the 18-yard line.
Just inside the left hash. Navy breaks the huddle. They've got 11 personnel. 3-3-5 for ECU. They go with the fake up the gut. Hayes, quarterback keeper, picks up 4. That's going to be the final timeout. Now going to be 2nd and 6 from the 14 with 1:43 remaining. Outcome still undecided.
It's the 9th play of the drive.
First down markers at about the 7-yard line, just outside the 7. Currently the ball resting at the 9-yard line as Navy comes out in a shotgun split big. They fake it up the gut. Hayes goes to the outside. Nothing but paint. He runs out of bounds at the 1-yard line. And it's inside of 2 minutes. That's going to instantaneously stop the clock. Now the ball rests 1st and goal on the 1-yard line. Not a dissimilar situation than we found in game 1 of tonight's doubleheader. As Navy in full control right now. The ball resting on the 1, their boxing glove resting on the chin of the Pirates. Just about ready to deliver the fatal blow.
And this is the 10th play of the drive.
Play clock winds down. Game clock stuck at 1:38. Up the gut is Bright. He picks up 1. That's all they needed. It's worth 6 points. And the extra point is going to put the midshipmen up by 10 with only 96 seconds remaining. end line. ECU takes over on their 25 with 25, but they've given up 35. And now with 96 seconds on the clock, the Pirates in full desperation mode. Navy has crossed their T's and dotted their I's. They are hoping to hop on the plane for next week's game. They're already starting to think about what other possibilities are out there. Exemplified there by the tight coverage by Anawoha all over that pass. There were, in fact, nobody open. Full momentum right now for the midshipmen. It might only be a 10-point lead, but given these two teams, given these two bruisers, given these two defenses, it may as well be a 17 or 21-point lead. Afidi, hoping, flings it deep. Multiple defenders on the scene. And if the last play wasn't desperate enough, now the Pirates face 3rd and 10. They're inside their own 30-yard line. They would gladly punt it should Navy be able to survive one more play. We don't know if the Pirates will go for the first or the touchdown. Spread set for both teams. Man in motion left to right. Afidi drops back, surveys, flings it on the run, and a defender's hand is in the way, as per usual, and it's going to result in an ECU punt. They're going to give the ball back to no, they're going to go for it on 4th and 10. No other choice but to.
4th down, and the offense is still on the field.
Backed into a corner, painted into a corner. The Pirates didn't want to do this, but they have to, and here it comes. Back to pass Afidi, and not even close. Not only was the receiver short of the first down marker, he had 3 defenders nearby. Very, very slim chance to convert that play. Navy is going to take over, leading by 10. ECU has no timeouts. The midshipmen have the ball at the 25-yard line. They would love to get out of here with no injuries and survive in advance. It is, in fact, the victory formation. Midshipmen taking no chances. They do survive in advance. They win 35-25. An astute, emphatic, and studious defensive victory for the defensive coordinator for Navy and for Coach Ninja. They were able to hold one of the nation's top 10 offenses to a reasonable amount of yards. We'll check the team stats at the conclusion of the game. We have arrived at the conclusion of the game thanks to the hard efforts, the hard hat efforts, the coal dust on the cheek efforts for the midshipmen. They will emerge victorious 35-25. ECU and Navy both coming into this game at 7-2. Neither team ranked, but both just on the bubble. One would expect that Navy has an opportunity to crack the polls once again on the coming week. They are going to advance to 8-2. They have beaten some excellent teams. They have a good pedigree on their team schedule. And this win will go a long way to giving them a foothold to cracking the polls. Beating a 7-2 ECU team by multiple scores. Looks like the last play of the game is going to be an opportunity for Navy to tack extra 3 points on and celebrate a 13-point win. An emphatic 38-25 victory by the midshipmen. Concluded with the boot of Rawls. But the story of the football game, the patience of Navy on both sides of the ball, the multiple stops on defense by the midshipmen, and the effective running game through the heart of ECU as Navy simply out-muscled the Pirates, winning 38-25. Wesley Green had 6 key catches out of the backfield, almost as important as his multiple yards rushing. He was a key factor today for the midshipmen, doing a lot of the dirty work as the middies put their lunch pail hat on and emerge with an 8-2 record. We'll take a look here at the game stats and then take a look at next week's games, what we'll have in store for you in week 13 of season 16 of League One action. Navy and Syracuse doubleheader tonight. It was exciting. It was thrilling. There was lots of action, plenty to talk about. 2 knockout blows delivered by both the Orange and the Middies. 2-0 for the night for League One DC area division. There you see the coaching statistics, and taking a look here at the game stats, team stats. You see there 22-9 in first downs in favor of the midshipmen. ECU had a couple of explosive plays. They did put points on the board, but Navy had a more consistent performance with those 22 first downs. Offensively, Navy outgaining ECU. The top 10 offense limited to 172 yards. Not under 250, but under, in fact, 200. Navy holds a top 10 nationally ranked offense to 172. That is the story of the ball game. That is why Navy won. They were effective on offense, but they were deadly on defense. They came up against a big threat, and the Pirates unable to get it done. You see 12 out of 19 in the passing game, while Reggie Hayes was a perfect 16 for 16. Very short passes, very limited, very studious, only 117 yards, but on 16 attempts. If you're talking about 117 yards and you go 16 for 16, just those stats alone mean that you have a great chance to win. And in fact, Navy did win ugly. They were asked to win ugly, and they were proud to win ugly. Looking at the third down percentage, you see Navy with 100%, beating ECU's 55. In the turnover battle, there was one error, one mistake by Navy. They turned the ball over once, but they rebounded quickly, and it was not a factor in the game when it was all said and done. The key stat of today, time of possession, the midshipmen holding the football for 24 and a half minutes, limiting the ECU Pirates to just 7.5 minutes. It is hard to keep up with a body blow boxer, and today the midshipmen were a body blow boxer. 38-25 midshipmen victorious in a clutch conference game. We're going to take a look first at both the American and ACC conference races, see how those look, and then give you a sneak peek into week 13 action for these two user teams in League One. In the top 25, Ohio State beating Penn State, and South Carolina upsetting number 9 Florida 33-17. Both objectives within ESPN. Conference standings. Looking at the American Western Division, Navy now in first place technically with a 5-2 conference record. They have one more conference game remaining before the Army-Navy football game. Meanwhile, Tulane's still in the race at 3-2 in the conference. We know that they win this week. They additionally move to 8-2, and they move to 4-2, 1/2 game behind Navy, but they have an extra conference game remaining on the slate. They're in play. Navy's in play. SMU technically in play. Southern Miss looking to play spoiler, trying to work their way up the standings. They're a 6-4 football team, and in fact, that will be Navy's opponent next week. Let's take a look real quick at the ACC Atlantic. Syracuse in first place. They've already got the tiebreaker and the one-game lead over Florida State. They've already beaten Clemson. They have a little bit of mop-up duty to do in conference, but the big test this week was the user game on the road. And as you saw in the first game of our doubleheader, Syracuse passed that test. Now moving on to next week's games. We'll see what we have in store for these two exciting football teams. Week 13 action. Several important games for many users, but in terms of these two teams, only one will be in action. The Midshipmen have a bye. They're one of the few teams in the country that has a Week 15 game. Sometimes that affords them an advantage in having a super late visit for recruits. Sometimes it's a hindrance or a hassle or an inconvenience. It will be the latter next week as Navy takes the bye. They'll take a breather, they'll have a Corona, they'll sit on the beach for a week, and they will rejoin you in Week 14. 2 weeks from now, we will maintain a regular schedule despite the holidays. 2 weeks from now, Navy takes on Southern Miss on the road, that excellent Golden Eagle defense. That'll happen in 2 weeks' time, but next week we'll just feature Syracuse taking on Wake Forest on the road, trying not to have a hiccup and hold serve following the successful afternoon today. These two teams going 2-0. We thank you for joining us this week. We thank you for supporting League One. We hope you have an excellent week next week. Kick its ass.